now we will get started. What's that? Nobody? No, we're good. Okay, we're going to call this meeting to order. I am Leslie Jones. Mayor Hakes will be here shortly. He was just coming out of Provo Canyon about 15 minutes ago, so he will be joining us very soon, but we're going to go ahead and get started. I will give the invocation, and Councilmember Garrett will give the Pledge of Allegiance. Our Heavenly Father, we come before Thee this evening as we gather together to make decisions on behalf of our community. We're grateful for the opportunity that we have to live in a country with a system that invites and encourages citizen involvement. We appreciate all that Thou hast blessed us with. We pray that our discussions will be fruitful and that we will be guided in ways that will be beneficial to all stakeholders. We pray for these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Invite everybody to rise and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll start with a public forum. Is there anybody on the lined up? It doesn't look like there has been. Nope, okay. Let's look at the consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay, the motion has been proposed by Councilmember Beck and seconded by Councilmember Carlson.
Carlson, yes.
Egbert, yes.
Beck, yes.
Jones, yes.
Garrett, yes.
Thank you. Okay, April Clausen. Okay, April is the committee chair for the Town Square Committee, and as requested, this is an annual review of the goals of the committee, the achievements, and what we can look forward to 2023. April, would you like to state your, well, she's April, I don't think you need to state that, but
Do you want my address?
birthday,
Yeah, the whole shebang, right?
what's your walk-up song, April?
I'm here. Just kidding. So I sent this to you guys for you guys to look through. Do we have any questions as far as what happened in 2022 when you guys read through that? First of all, if I can just say thank you to each one of you for all that you've done to make this town square possible. It has been awesome to have it done and completed. Do you want me to go through all 14 items?
Is there any one particular, I think everybody read through it, is there anything in particular, in that list of things from 2022 that you'd like to tell us more about?
I did forget to put in number 4 that we had the 2-man saw contest. So we had the Pioneer Games plus the contest. So the games were just, and everything was free. But that was one thing I left off. But the most important thing is Town Square is done. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I was just going to ask that question. Is it done?
So exciting.
So April, I was here when Mary came to present or propose this idea at the council to do this town square. Was that, how many years ago? 5? More than that? Okay.
Yes, I'd say that because I think I'd been here a year or so.
Okay. It's pretty remarkable, and it's incredible, and I think very impressive.
It was a major undertaking, managed very well.
Yes.
I think we all would agree with that.
Yeah.
Amen.
It's amazing just too, as I drive home each night, seeing how many people are just walking around there and looking at it, and it's good. It's cool.
It is.
Yeah.
What do we have to look forward to for 2023?
You're going to double it now?
So just to reiterate, our mission is to preserve, educate, and share. So some ideas that we've been talking about, and we'll see how this goes forward. I would like to try and get a historic youth committee going that serves from May to October. We could have them, so we would solicit them in April March to April, and then start training them in the month of April. That would also open our season for tours. And then in May, we want to start the May Day event. So this would be really focusing on the fourth graders, but we would open it up to the community. Logan mentioned in our meeting yesterday, possibly also with Kyle, having an historic day camp week, possibly in June, which I think is fabulous. And then July would be Founders Night and the Pioneer Day. August, possibly we could have the buildings open for a tour on one of the farmers market nights, which I think would be fun. September, have an historic movie night on Friday or Saturday, family event. And October, November would stay the same, the scarecrow, and the fall clean, and the tree lighting event. And then we would close tours for the season.
So there's a few new things, particularly the May Day.
May Day and the...
Did we decide it's weaving or braiding the maypole? Weaving the maypole.
It's weaving it.
Weaving
with
the
the
maypole.
ribbons
Okay,
to the music.
yeah.
And you go up and over one another.
Yeah.
So you're, whoever is, and then you go down. And then go up. Anyway, it'd be kind of fun.
That should be fun, and that's in May 1st.
Yes.
How many youth are you looking at for that committee?
I'll let April speak for her, but I suspect, at least initially, it's anybody that will volunteer.
Yeah, we would probably shoot for a dozen, because we could keep them busy with all of those events for those months. And this would be, in talking with the committee yesterday in our meeting, it would be, we've been really trying to do a Pioneer Day type committee with the youth, and it's just not working. So we thought maybe if we made it an historic committee group of youth, and then they could serve for a few months, we thought that might be a little bit more interesting.
I know one thing we talked about in the past was maybe reaching out to the youth council advisors, and those that didn't make it onto the youth council, we could see if they would be interested in serving on it.
It's a great place to
Yeah,
start for
I'll,
that.
make
Yeah,
a note there.
that's a great place to start. And I think probably, I would suggest, rather than wait till April, start probably in March.
Okay.
At least reaching out to these other youth council kids initially to see what that interest is. So,
Did I miss anything?
are
Okay.
there any questions or comments from the council?
Amazing work,
Yeah, great job, and
For sure.
as always.
You guys deserve a major award. Good job.
Now, Mary's still involved, right?
Say it again?
Mary's still involved, right? She's,
Yes. Yeah, she had surgery a few weeks ago, so she's going to be out for a little bit.
she's still in the position with Historic Committee?
She's still in helping, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she is.
Does she have a title, or was she
That's what I
the
meant, I guess does she have a
Well, she
title?
would be past chair,
past chair, yeah?
Past chair.
treasurer.
This year, she wanted to kind of move from treasurer to be specifically over tours, but we'll see how that goes. But she was a secretary treasurer, past chair,
Yeah.
yeah.
Amazing work
Yeah.
she did.
Yes.
We did discuss yesterday with Kyle and Logan in a meeting there, a possible opportunity to do some digital tours.
Yes.
It's very exciting.
I
But-
didn't know if Kyle's, I guess, not here. I didn't know if Logan was going to bring that up in his address.
Oh, he might. I just let the cat out of the bag because I'm excited about that. But we'll have to work with the budget committee and see if, where the money is.
Show me the money.
Yes, no kidding.
Thank you, April.
All right,
you
thanks,
very-
everyone. Appreciate you all.
Thank
Thank you.
Okay, action items. Rob, would you like to take it away?
Yeah, thank you. So Rob Hunter, city engineer, and Camille, could you bring up the exhibit right there? Oh, and it doesn't show up quite as well as I was hoping on this on the screen, but so we have a development. It's at 600 North, 400 East, that is going in right now, Whiting Fields, and during the review, there is an existing drain from this area to the northeast that you see that's already developed from that intersection. Drains to that inlet and is tied across into what had been the old irrigation lateral ditch that emptied into the field that has developed into Whiting Fields subdivision. And our mapping hadn't shown how this was all tying together, and so as the city was reviewing these fields, we didn't realize that the stormwater was dumping into this field. Our standard for a long time has been each development retains its own. This is an older development, and obviously at that time was allowed to tie into the irrigation ditch. Like I said, didn't realize it. Our mapping, that's not how our mapping showed it. Didn't realize it as we were doing the review. And so at this point, it's already built. The ditch with the subdivision is already filled in. And again, our city standard is that every area is supposed to retain its own storm drain. And so what this proposal is to do is to tie onto that drain that had dumped into the irrigation ditch and put an underground retention system in that we can fit in under 400 East on the west side of the road. And so we are proposing this as basically a sole source. There are different underground retention systems. What makes the Storm Bricks system the two main reasons why we want to go with it is because I've got a $100,000 budget to do this in. And basically, the cost of this system, which our guys can put together themselves, and then working with a contractor to help us with the excavation, gets me just under $100,000, where we wouldn't have that same option with the other underground storm drain systems. The other thing too is that we've had a lot of different underground storm drain systems constructed into Mapleton over the years, and the Storm Brick system is what we have found to be by far the easiest to maintain and keep clean. And so there are two big reasons to go with the Storm Brick system. So like I said, it's a necessary thing, and it's an immediate necessary thing, and so that's why we're bringing this to you. Mountain Land is the local supplier for the Storm Brick system, so that's why we're bringing this to you as a sole source.
Great. Any questions, discussion?
Will it be entirely under the road, or will it be under the right-of-way, which will verge out towards the sidewalk?
It'll stay within the pavement. It'll be maybe go into a little bit into the future curb and gutter there, but it won't be out under the sidewalk. It'll be out towards the road. We have enough room in this particular road to be able to do that. So,
How long will it take to complete?
we're going to start on it as soon as we get approval, and I mean, should be. Well, I think we could do all the excavation and put it all in within a couple of weeks, but we're going to need to pave over the top of it in the end, and that won't happen until April. So,
I'm guessing I have to wait until the snow is off the ground? Or,
Yep. Yeah, and the asphalt plants close down during the winter. You got to have, it's typically 50 degrees and rising is kind of a standard for doing pavement, and you don't get that until mid-April, so they don't open until mid-April. So.
Great.
You mentioned they're easy to maintain. What maintenance is there? If you can keep the debris out, I guess you don't have to do anything, but if the debris goes down there, how do you get it out?
So all these systems have an area that's supposed to isolate where the bulk of the stuff comes in. Yeah, that catches it in, and so it is part of the overall system. But this one can be the intent is to clean it out with just a regular vac truck. So you spray it out with the jetter, and you could suck it up with the vac truck. Where a lot of the other systems require a specialized tool that you have to do just to clean their system.
I imagine it's a mess.
So.
Are there other sites potentially within the city that we also might need to take a second look at, or?
In the future, probably. This is the immediate one that we know needs to be done now. As we look around and as more things develop, there may be additional projects like this where we can't put it on the developer because an existing site drains onto their field that they want to develop. We can't say you have to take care of the drainage. If it was an established channel, established storm drain, we can, but where it's just emptying out into a field that used to just infiltrate it all into the ground and they're going to develop it, we're probably going to have to take responsibility on some of these.
I went online and looked at how it goes together. It looks like a very nice, well-designed system. So
Yep. Yeah, it's been used a lot.
Yeah, I think it looks great.
Okay, thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the Storm Bricks HD retention system from Mountain Land Supply for the quoted price of $70,914,000.82.
I'll second it.
Okay, there's been a motion to approve by Councilmember Garrett and a second by Councilmember Carlson.
Hibbert, yes.
Beck, yes.
Jones, yes.
Garrett, yes.
Carlson, yes.
Great. Next item. Sean, we'll turn the time to you.
I'm wondering, Corey, do you want to maybe do administrative reports and come back to this if is Dallas going to be here?
He should be here momentarily.
'Cause
Yeah, should we do that?
I think he wants to talk to on one of the items on that, so
Oh, great. Okay, well, let's just, Sean, why don't you start us off with administrative reports?
nothing for me, so that didn't save much time, did it?
Nice.
I don't have really anything that we haven't talked about in previous councils, except to introduce one of our local Webelos, Seth Ferris. I'm just kidding. He's our staff engineer. He wanted to come and introduce himself, so if you've got time after the meeting, he'd love to get to know you.
Seth's been with us about 4 months now? How long? 6 months? He's been awesome. Really, a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff for us, too. Just great knowledge of, he's caught on things for us and been good to have, so appreciate you.
Wonderful.
We did have our solid waste meeting last week. We're still having winter, but the things are still progressing. We plan to start pouring and forming the tilled-up panels probably in February, and probably April or so when we get rid of some of this snow and ice, we can probably start putting up the walls. So things are progressing, but it's been a challenge. And just for your information, they did install me as the chairman of the board for the committee for 2 years last Thursday, so
Wonderful.
I
Good
guess
for
I've
you,
got
Reed.
my hands full with that.
Good for you.
I did have a question. Somebody was asking me a question about it, and I was not sure. Does anybody know if 2800 South is the city street or not, which goes out to Dr. McHiggin's property?
Yeah, that's
Is that city?
a good question. It's basically a gravel road, right? The
Yes.
one you're talking about. The county maps show it as just no parcel, so it's not specifically shown as listed to Mapleton City. So unless we did a title report that went way back to see if it was ever formally dedicated, we're not 100% sure on that. Our assumption would be that it would become ours as some of those properties subdivide, because they have some development potential. And if they did that the road would be formally dedicated and improved, but this came up with you recently.
As of
They
right
did,
now,
yeah. Well, from my understanding, really, the big question is, can we come out and fill in some potholes, and we did. Brad went out with some of his guys to fill those potholes, so I think that was really the crux of the
That was the issue
question,
for you?
yeah.
Okay.
But I was also wondering if it's our responsibility. That's very nice as a neighbor.
Yeah, well, and so
You
the.
would be a good neighbor.
So the question, and it kind of goes back to what I think Sean was saying, is that it shows it as a gap. Usually that means that there was a roadway dedication. I can't find that there was an actual roadway dedication, and so we'll fill in the potholes, and as it develops, I'm sure that it will be formally dedicated to the city.
Very good. That sounds just fine. I had one question, maybe Chief Jacks can help me with a little bit with this, and somebody was mentioning about ZYN is being advertised quite a bit at the Maverick Station, which has nicotine in it. They're concerned about the kids seeing those pills and starting to buy them up and use them, but I guess it's legal for them to get it, so it's kind of hard for us to say, you can't advertise here.
Yeah,
unless
we actually had some kids run behind the counter back there and grab some stuff too, so we've been working with Maverick a little bit on trying to maybe move stuff around a little bit, but it is their business. Can I research that for you and report back?
Yeah, yes.
ZYN?
It's called, ZYN. He's got it on the pictures, shows it on the garbage cans at all the pumps.
Okay, let me research that and I'll get back with you on it.
You put in your drinks, but it's a high in nicotine, I guess.
Yeah.
So you want to keep buying it, I guess. Anyway,
Okay.
thank you. That's all I have.
Great, thank you, Reed. Jessica?
Lots of legislative things happening. Chief and I connected this week on some things going on the Hill, especially there's school safety requirements one that we're watching, where in principle, this is HB 61. In principle, it's supportive of having a city require a resource a resource officer in each school. But it's unfunded mandate, so they're saying a
Having the
city
city require
is
it?
responsible for paying for that officer, the school resource officer, which is about $200,000 a year. And so that's one to watch, especially for a smaller community. There's an interesting eminent domain one, that's a revision to eminent domain, to take out that a city can use eminent domain for a park. Now, most of the time you'd never do it, but it removes the right to be able to do it, so that's kind of an interesting one to watch. And then the ones that I've been talking about related to housing, they're not really popped up yet. The league's tracking like 140 bills right now. They're only opposing 11 of them so far, but that still, things are going back and forth. It's still pretty early on, so, yeah, a lot of stuff to watch for that.
Great,
Steve
thank you.
mentioned that there's like 700 bills to look at this time.
Yeah, there's, it can go up 400 to 800, it just depends on who's right. Most of those are just revisions of like 2 sentences from existing ones, they're not brand-new law.
They still have to, okay. it's
But
just-
what they have to read during that time, that's a lot of reading,
I'll say,
yeah.
Is that for each school or just each middle school and high school, or?
I think it's isn't it for K-12? It's all of them.
Every school other than an elementary school, including charter schools. That doesn't apply to us, but it would require us to put a full-time officer in the junior high and the middle school, where right now we split one guy between the two. So, and the issue with the Chiefs Association is the same as she said, is we'd love that, would be great, but who's gonna pay for it is the issue with that, so.
Yeah, a lot of things that are opposed by the league are related to unfunded mandates or taking away land use authority. Lots of, we've talked about is the land use is such a big deal right now, so, we'll see that, see those keep popping up.
How many bills is the league watching?
Like right now, it's 139 or something, but that changes all the time as the new ones pop up, so it's a lot.
Great. Casey?
Yeah, so the NYCC, they have an orientation this weekend for the new kids that are coming into the youth council. And then I guess the only other thing I had to report that we met with AJ about a week and a half ago about the troll and funding that. Were we gonna have a closed session for that? Is that this meeting or?
Yes, that's today.
That's all.
Great, and I don't have an update, other than, I mean, I would echo, my update would be what April shared. We went over that in our meeting yesterday, so that's it.
I don't have anything.
Great. Camille? Corey?
Just a couple things. Reminder, February 16th is our retreat. That'll be from 9 to 3:30 there at Harvest Park. I sent an email out with some talking points, and if you have any other additional ones you'd like to have discussed, please let me know on that, or we can talk about those here if you've got those. And then also February 23rd at 11:30 is the State of the City address. And I believe Madison just sent an email out to you. We're trying to get each of you to come next Tuesday. And we're going to do about a 2.5 to 3 minute video clip where we'd have each of you share a quick message related to the overview of the rebrand. So we'd have each just hit on one of the different overviews that was put together with our consultant. And then we'll compile that video, and that'll be part of the State of the City. But it was Tuesday, we were looking around 3:30ish to 5. I didn't look, let me see if Madison put the date and time on there for you. She just barely sent it. But take a look at that and see if that works for you. So Tuesday, February 7th.
something we need to prepare for, or
What's that?
do we need to prepare for that? Or, you know, what are we gonna write up, what are we gonna
So
say?
she's put in this, as you can see in this email, so for example, she's asked Councilmember Egbert to talk on connection.
Okay, I
And-
haven't looked.
But what the hope is that actually you would just read exactly as it's worded. So you don't have to memorize this. They're gonna have
I got you.
right there in front there, the ability for you to just read along.
Teleprompter?
But yeah, so that'll make it a little easy. But if you could just kind of read it and prepare for what each of yours, for example, Council Member Carlson, yours would be on small town and yours on active lifestyle. So anyway, the list is there for you to go over. But what Madison's hope was that you could, hopefully that works for you, and you could just tell her what time you could be there, somewhere between those hours of 2 to 5 p.m.
So the video is gonna be like 3 minutes. I imagine that these quotes will probably take what, 40 seconds
Yeah.
that time?
Yep, they're gonna be pretty quick, yep. And then that'll be, that video will be then used during our State of the City address, as we'll put it online so that it's available for those to watch that moving forward. And then the last one for you, me and Sean and Rob.
Do we have the final view of what the logo is?
What's that?
The final view of the logo, with the mountain in the back? I've seen 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, so, let's
Is
see
that
if
a
she
part
put
of
that
it?
in there. I'll email that to you in the morning. She didn't show that in this one. So I'll send you the one that's the final one, and you can see that. Again, the kind of hope is to keep it confidential until we get to that state of the city. And I know it's pretty exciting for staff and for us. I know the mayor and council is get a little closer to that date to be able to share it. So it's coming. Any other questions on that one? Casual dress too.
She said that was the 7th, right?
Yeah, Tuesday, February 7th. And like I said, she sent each of you an email. You should have just got it here about half hour ago.
Okay.
Give you all the specifics on that.
That got moved up, because I have it in my calendar as the 23rd.
Okay.
Oh, that's,
Actual.
That's another one.
Oh, this is pre-filming the other thing for the state of council.
That's right.
I'm good now.
you gotta
Yep.
comb your hair on
I'm
the
good.
7th.
Twice,
Don't worry
Twice.
about
in the
this one.
same month.
Wear a hat on the 23rd.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, good.
Unless you wanna give it, you're more than welcome.
Any other questions on that one? Last one for you, me and Sean and Rob was able to go visit with Spanish Fork City to talk to them about the sewer and the status of that, as well as just have introductions so Chris could meet Rob, and had a good visit with them. Councilmember Carlson's the one that represents us as far as the topic with Public Works, and we emphasized to them that we'd like to start setting up at least a minimum of quarterly, that you, as well as the representative from Spanish Forks Council, would get together and be able to be updated on the project, what's going on. They didn't have anything that was too pressing at this time, but obviously it's a money mess over there right now. We actually went on site.
Did
Reed,
you get to the meeting, Reed?
He did not go to that one, but it was just us three
Okay.
with Chris Thompson. So it was just more of an introduction for Rob and Chris to,
Do you know Chris Thompson, Reed? Okay, good.
yeah. So, we'll keep you posted as, Rob and Chris start setting up some meetings to get you and the other council member. According to Chris, he has not had any meetings, with his council liaison, recently with the sewer topic. So we just said, well, let's try to get everybody in the same room as we move forward, so.
I might mention that they have weekly construction meetings for the solid waste district construction, and I try to attend them when I'm in town. So
Okay.
it's not just every 3 months that I find out something.
So you're weekly with that one, yeah. Yep. Okay, any other questions on that one for me? So we'll keep you posted as we get a little closer on some of those big topics. That's all I had. We do need to go into closed session here after our action item, to talk over some collective bargaining, so.
Okay. Chief Jackson?
Just to piggyback off the legislation topic that Jessica and I were talking about, so we spent some time on the Hill Monday. In addition to the SRO bill, there's just a couple other that the chiefs are either opposing or are trying to be in favor of. One of them is a bill that changes the way victims can be treated in sexual assault cases. The chiefs are opposed to that bill. I don't have the number off the top of my head, but I can get it to you. So if you're asked about that, we're opposed to those changes. It allows a victim of sexual assault to potentially be deposed for up to 7 hours without a break, and we're opposed to that. The other one is some retirement bills, but it's being amended every day, so I don't know what position we're gonna we're gonna land on that one because it's been changed every day. So kind of a busy time of year for legislation wise, but we are so lucky to have Representative White. He's attentive and he's willing to spend time, and we talk every day, so we're lucky there. A couple other just quick updates. Our ambulance, I believe Camille's finally got some answers that she needed from our insurance company, and it sounds like we'll have that in the shop next week. Theron, you may be able to speak to this a little bit too, but we're in good shape. We've got a couple ambulances that are gonna hold it down for a little while, but it'll be nice to get this one back and done, but it can't be in service right now. It's dinged up in the top corner, so. Jeremy updated me today, Captain Millett updated me today, should have that in the shop next week. Kind of a neat thing with our city newsletter, we got an email from a person that read the newsletter and wanted to be on that public safety committee, preparedness committee, so we reached out to him and he emailed me just a few minutes ago and he would like to be a part of that, so that worked out well, so we'll take him on. And then just want to make sure you guys seen the update on the elk, that it wasn't initially what we reported as being moldy hay. We were kind of blindsided by that last week when the U plant was found in their stomachs and found to be toxic. So I hope you guys all got that update that it was U plant and not the moldy hay. So, and just one last thing, Lori and Phil, I feel bad for them, so I'm just gonna say publicly, man, this accreditation, to get our accreditation re-upped every year is taking a lot of their time. So I hope to have that accreditation done by the end of the month. So I think that's everything. Thanks.
Great, thank you. Logan?
Just a couple things. Just piggybacking off April, we are excited to get that potential digital tour put together. And just kind of give a little bit more insight on it. You'll be able to go through each of the buildings and be able to see them, but then also the square as whole. And then the real cool thing is you'll be able to actually touch on artifacts or pictures or things, and then there'll be a brief description on, if it's a painting or a picture, then we can, give a description on what that is. If it's a tool, we can give a description of maybe when it was used or what it was used for. So we're really excited on that. I think that'll really help engage Town Square and be able to promote people to get in and, and not just have to be there, but be able to get it on the website and see it. So we're excited. I'll give an update.
That's on the website, and where else are you planning on putting it? Or just on the website?
It will be on the website, yeah.
People can access it digitally from wherever they're at.
Yeah, so if you had like a bigger iPad at the facility, when people came, they could click on it and see what it was when they're there looking at it. It'd be cool. But-
Yeah.
That's one option, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great idea to read more about that.
Yeah, for sure. So we reached out to the company today. They're supposed to get back with us for potential, just coming and looking at the project and kind of seeing preliminary costs and stuff. So we're excited for that one. We've got basketball that is underway, and it's basketball season. We all love basketball season. So we'll just hope everybody keeps behaving and is happy. And then we've got our
Isn't the All-Star game going to be hosted at Mapleton Rec Department?
two of them. Two of
Oh,
them.
All-Star games every night? Oh, yeah, excuse me.
Yeah. And then we've got our cornhole league opened up, a new one that we're doing this spring. We've already got, I think, 6 that have been registered. It's been open for a week, so we're hopeful that we'll get a couple more, and then hopefully that'll be a new one we can have. And then we'll have our spring soccer. We made it through 2 days officially of letting people sign up, so that was good. Last year we filled up in a day, so it's been nice to at least we were able to open up some more spots with the middle school and their green space, so we could add some more fields. So
we already have more enrolled than we did last year? I'm just curious.
Yes, we do.
Like how
On
much?
those-
Like 10% more, 20%?
Probably more on the 10% right now, but we still got 2 weeks left of
Oh, boy.
registration. So, yeah, we're definitely seeing that young family movement. We're definitely seeing it. So it's a good thing. And then lastly, we're starting. So we've had a women's volleyball league in the past, and this year we're opening it up to a co-ed volleyball league. So we're excited to just have another opportunity for adults in the community, and this one obviously more the male variety to be able to come out and participate. So, anyways, thank you.
Great, thank you, Logan. We want to recognize Mayor Hakes. He has joined us. And we will now resume conversation about item number 4. Sean?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor, members of the council. So these are a couple agreements we've been working on for some time. I'm thinking of maybe I'll take John's police accreditations if he wants to take the irrigation district meeting. But
He'll stick with what he's got.
yeah. So we've been meeting with them and with our water attorney, John Schutz, to craft these agreements. Basically, the East Bench Irrigation District, they service the west side of the city, basically Highway 89 and into Spanish Fork City. And so what these agreements would do, when those properties develop, it would allow them to transfer as part of their dedication requirement to the city, the strawberry water that's on the property. And it's great water for us. And it's cheaper for developers to use that water than to go try to acquire it somewhere else. So this would be certainly a good thing for us. The one caveat to it is our attorney has been concerned about one provision. He recommended that we make sure that we retain the rights to vote those shares, those strawberry shares with the Strawberry Waters Users Association. East Bench has told us that's a deal breaker, that they will not sign the agreement if that's in place. They have a similar agreement with Spanish Fork, and they have not, and they retain the voting rights in Spanish Fork as well. And so they're pretty stern on not wanting to do that. And so we just wanted to bring that to your attention. We think that it's probably still worth doing. Dallas, I don't know if you want to hit on any of the reasons you think we'll be able to vote those shares in the long term anyway.
Yeah, the problem with waiting, it's the same problem we had before with Mapleton Irrigation, is that the longer you wait and as the properties develop and the water stays there, you'll never get them. They'll end up back at Strawberry Water. They'll have them. We'll never see them. And they're started buying them back already. They've come out, Strawberry Water's come out and said that they're gonna get more funds to do that, and they're just gonna keep doing it. So as the land gets broke up, and before you'd have one landowner that has 40, 50 shares, and now you've got 60, 70 landowners with like a half share. So you can't, for us to go back and acquire them and get them back is nearly impossible. And all the water that comes out of Strawberry, we want to retain 100% of it. It's like gold for us in the future. This provision about the voting rights, this is my opinion on it. Spanish Fork City has 1,800 of these East Bench water shares. About 4 years ago, the council elected to stop taking them, and they went to this URL water. And so when a developer came to Spanish Fork, they said, no, we don't want shares. We don't want you to dedicate shares. We want you to pay X amount per share that you need. And then they were taking all that money and paying their URL fees we talked about a year or so ago, electing to take them or not. Well, about 6 months into it, they figured out they made a big mistake because the Strawberry Water's coming right there out of the river and they're giving it up. So they went back again and changed it again and said, no, we'll accept them. And East Bench would not sign the agreement with them to do it unless East Bench maintained the voting rights. The concern is that you got Jay out by the freeway, you got Frank, and you got Mike Miner and some of the other miners that have the big parcels left that have these East Bench strawberry shares on them, and they're the last farmers. Like, I tried to do a delayed agreement and said, okay, after a certain amount of years pass, or after we acquire a certain amount of shares, then you're going to turn the voting rights over to us. They're just trying to protect the farmer and make sure that if Strawberry User Association changes their fee on the backside and the fee comes to the association inside the company, that the farmers don't get hosed and trying to pay $70, $80 a share because they can't afford it. And so they're trying to just be in the middleman to manage that, which I totally understand. Highline Canal, which is Highline Irrigation Company, which services all the way down to Payson up off the bench and stuff. Same water, but they're a different district. They all are in the same situation. My opinion is, and they've agreed, that in the not-too future, it's going to narrow down, and it's going to be Mapleton and Spanish Fork in the next 10, 12 years making all decisions anyway. So whether you get the voting rights today or you get them later, East Bench Irrigation Company, similar to Mapleton Irrigation, is going to dissolve because you can go look for a line of people standing behind Mike Miner to run those things, and there's none. There's not a person on the board that wants to do it, and there's no one involved that does. So the city will end up taking it over, and then Spanish Fork and Mapleton will go to the mat if they have to, or whatever they do later to figure it out. That's 10 years or 15 years. So my opinion is it's not worth not getting the agreement done over, because frankly, it doesn't give us many rights as it sits today anyway. We're only 400 of those votes, and there's 20-something hundred, 3,000 there, so anyway. We're just along for the ride to take the water. There's a whole lot more to that. If you want to talk more, you can talk for years about this stuff, but.
Any
And it's still up
questions
to it's still up to the property owner whether they want to do this. So even if we approve these agreements, if for some reason the property owner wants to get water from somewhere else to dedicate to the city, they'll have that
You
option.
have that right.
Okay.
Any other comments or questions? Discussion?
What's the downside of doing that, not doing this?
Well, the downside
Having-
is,
Not having the water? I mean, there's.
yeah, I mean, we won't get the water, but we'll never get it.
That's what I mean. And we're tying into the, I mean, it just makes sense.
It makes all the sense in the
It
world.
just seems to make all the kind of sense in the world.
Every water we can get out of that Strawberry Reservoir and have rights to is huge.
And it's so much cheaper than the
Oh,
URL water.
It's a
so
fraction
that's
of the UL water.
That's the big benefit for us.
Literally, Reed, it's less than 10% the cost.
Yeah, and it comes to, at a pressure.
It comes highly pressurized.
That's what's really nice about it.
Yeah, you can't beat it.
And you're saying that if there was a problem later, Spanish Fork would be in the same position?
They're in the exact same position we are, yeah. And Spanish Fork and Mapleton are gonna have the same goals with the water, so, you know, whether it's 10 years, 15 years, whatever it is, there's gonna be a council sitting here that's gonna work with Spanish Fork City and,
Figure it out.
yeah.
Okay, is there a motion on the table? Or is there anyone who would like to put a motion on the table?
I will.
Great.
So I make the motion that we go ahead and accept this resolution and the two agreements that have been established to obtain the strawberry water on the East Bench Irrigation District. Have them come to Mapleton City.
I'll second that.
Okay, and there's been a motion to approve by Councilmember Carlson and a second by Councilmember Beck.
Beck, yes.
Jones, yes.
Garrett, yes.
Carlson, yes.
Egbert, yes.
Wonderful, and we've gone through our administrative reports. We will now go into a closed meeting and convene into a closed session pursuant to Utah Code 52-4-205. With the purpose of discussing
Collective bargaining.
collective bargaining. Do we have a motion to close that?
I make a motion that we go into closed session.
All in favor?
Aye.
Garrett, yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, good job.
Would you close that door there? You're welcome to stay if you want.
Sorry, I apologize for being late. Do you want to start, Corey? Go
Yeah.
through those couple points?
It went